Hello, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back to a glorious, splendid day. Sun is shining again and it's looking nice. Although there is a typhoon coming, so they say, or a low pressure area. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point I'm going to make today is when I first arrived, first time ever in the Philippines, and my first impression. What can I say? I will start at the very beginning. When I got off the plane in Manila, and yes, you feel the heat. You feel the heat when you get out the airport. But the first thing was like getting out the airport and all of these people just swarming you. Like they were swift and merciless, these cab drivers. And they were like piranhas. And they try and take your case, your luggage, and put it in the back of their car. God almighty, I've never seen nothing like it. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Going to other airports, generally the taxis are just sat in taxis waiting for you to go to them, but no, not in Manila. God, it was merciless, really. And I had to fight to get my cases back from this taxi driver. It was already in his boot. I said, no. Anyway, that was the first thing I ever really noticed, was the swift and merciless act of these cabbies. God, proper mental people, really. So I'm getting over that. I did eventually get in a taxi, and I was staying in Ermita, I think, because that was the place where they said to me was close to the hotel. Well, it was close if there was no traffic. The traffic was the second thing. It was just chock-a-block with traffic. So I ended up getting to the hotel, and the hotel was okay. And had a wash, shower, got changed, went out. That's what you do, isn't it? You're on holiday. And another thing was all of these kids just turn up out of nowhere. They just it's like magic. You look around, there's no one there, just people walking casually up and down the street, and all of a sudden you've got 20 or 30 kids pulling at your sleeves, pulling at your, whatever you're wearing. And I thought, oh my God, because I didn't really know much about the Philippines. And anyway, I got through that as well. And I got into this bar, which was the first bar I could find, because I just wanted to get away from all of these kids pulling at me. And yeah, I felt sorry for them, of course you do. But it was just a shock. And this is for you guys, if you're flying into Manila, you're going to get this. It's probably still like it now. I haven't been back to Manila for a long time, but it's probably still like it. So anyway, I get into this bar, and there's a pool table in the bar, and there was this guy playing pool by himself. Foreigner. And I got a drink, and he looked quite sad, this guy. I didn't speak to him anyway. He was playing pool with himself, and started drinking me drink. And within 15-20 minutes, he comes out of the bar, and at the end of the bar, and he said, "Okay." I said, yeah. He says, "You just come to the Philippines?" Obviously, you could see I was white. I had no suntan or anything, so you can see I was first time in the Philippines. The first thing he said to me, "Be careful." I said, "Whoa, hold on a minute." "Yeah, be careful." He said, "Watch the women. Watch the women." He says, "They'll have you." He says, "Me, I got nothing." Him. He said, "I've been scammed." And the lady, I thought, oh my God, I'd only been in Manila for literally 2 hours. And I've got the taxis, I've got the kids, I've got this guy that I first met. I thought, oh my word, where have I come to here? So I went to another bar, and there was a karaoke in this bar. Again, I was the only white man in this place. And good night, very good night. The people seemed very friendly, and it was a good night up until there was a fight. Oh dear God. I thought, if I could have gotten a return ticket there and then, I would have been the first person at that airport and flying out of the Philippines. There was a fight between these Filipinos broke out. And the fight happened because this guy kept coming in trying to sell watches. He had a lot of watches. And this guy, said, no, I don't want any. I don't want any watches. And he kept coming back, and this guy was getting more frustrated because he was getting drunker. And anyway, they had a fight. This guy trying to sell the watches and the guy who didn't want to buy any. So they had a fight. Got back to the hotel, and I was there for, I think, 3 days. And where I was, it was, at the time, this is like 8.5 years ago, 9 years ago, I think, when I first came. And it was kind of like congested. The traffic was like spewing out all of this dirty exhaust smoke, and like I said, the kids and beggars and poor people. I wasn't in Makati or anywhere like that, which is the upper end. Anyway, I got through my 3 days there, and I went to Cebu City. Similar thing with the taxis, but not as bad, but a similar thing where they try and take your cases off you. And anyway, I got to the hotel there, and it was much better. Then I went out of the night time, and another thing I noticed was the pavements. There was nothing level, and all I could smell was wee. It was piss. I could smell piss everywhere on the street. And I thought, Jesus Christ almighty, this is it's meant to be a holiday paradise, this place. And all I can smell is piss. So I kind of was, and also it's like taking your life in your own hands when you're walking on these pavements, because if there's someone walking towards you, the pavements are very small. You have to get off the pavement and walk on the road. And these cars and motorcycles are driving past 1,000 miles an hour. It's really, people, honestly, God, proper mental, really. And again, I was thinking, just I was there for a month. So I booked a holiday for a month, okay? And I thought, I've got to get through a month of this. How am I going to do it? I see my camera's on. Yeah, it's still on. And I kind of, something to eat, because when I was in Manila, like I was eating in the hotel I was staying in, which was, it was reasonable. It was okay. So now I'm in Cebu, I'm trying the local Filipino food here. And I'm looking, and I'd never seen anything like this kind of food, like dried fish, and the stink, the smell. Bearing in mind, I'm not used to the Philippines. It's the first time I've ever been, and this is my first impression that I'm telling you people, okay? This is the first impression. And maybe you people can relate to this. Some of you people who come here for the first time and you've experienced what I'm telling you. I thought, oh God, I'm going to starve. Looking at all this food, there was nothing there that took my fancy. And of course, I'm thinking, right, I'll find an English bar, because in Europe you can find English bars all over the place. I thought, oh, I'll get some mashed potato and this, that. I couldn't find anything like that. I ended up eating in McDonald's, and I was playing even the menu in McDonald's: rice, spaghetti, or Mac spaghetti, whatever they call it. I thought, oh, and when I remember I got a Big Mac. I know a Big Mac. I know what I'm getting. And I got it. I don't know about you people. I thought, it's child size. It's like, the bun was this big. I didn't say anything about it. I thought, that's like a Happy Meal. It's like a Happy Meal for a kid. Got that. I was pleased to get it. Ate that. I was still hungry. Thought, well, I can't really go back out and like eat that dried fish stuff or whatever it was. And so I got another one. Had that. Happy as anything. Went away. Thought I'd go to the nightlife. Wow, my God. Go to the bars. And this place I was staying was Cebu City. I think it was Colon in Cebu City. And I didn't know, but I was staying quite near to it was like a rundown, where I was nice, but a couple of blocks away was like a rundown place. And I was just walking around, Nighttime, it wasn't so bad. There wasn't so much traffic. So I'm walking around, and then I see these armed cops, these armed police with, what are the M14s or M16s or something, whatever they are. Lots of them just stood on a corner. And I thought, Jesus Christ, what's happening here? There's like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, 10 of these armed, well, not police, I think they were army, just stood there, you know, with their guns. And I'm thinking, oh, no research, see? I didn't do any research. I wasn't expecting this. Didn't do any looking at YouTube, what happens in the Philippines or anything. So I'm thinking, my God, is there a, you know, like, so, you know, like, is there like a terrorist like attack going on or something? So got into a bar anyway. And do you know what? It was brilliant. The bar that I went into, I had a couple of drinks pretty quick. Oh, couldn't find any draft beer, which was another shock. Everything is bottled beer. Bottled beer. Couldn't find anything that was on a pump. So I thought, well, this might be this bar. I'll try and kind of, where I was, I've never had, since I've been in the Philippines, a cup or a half or a pint of draft beer. Haven't had it. Not saying you can't get it. I haven't found it. So anyway, I'm drinking this beer called San Miguel. No, I wasn't. I was drinking this beer called Red Horse at first. God, that bloody hits you, that stuff. That's strong, that. Had a good night. Many people wanting to talk. And this girl come and sat next to me. And I thought, that's very polite. You know, that's, you know. And she was talking and all that. And then she says, you know, do you want to buy me a drink? I says, yeah, no problem. And I thought, what do you want? She says, a San Miguel. I thought, oh, okay. And I bought that. It was like 400 or 500 pesos. I thought, oh, hold on a minute. Mine was only 80 or 90 pesos for the small dumpy bottles. Oh no, because I was drinking Red Horse. But it was a similar price. I thought, what? 400 or 500 pesos for one drink? I thought, instant rip-off. So she says, no, she said, like, it's a lady's drink. What? A lady's drink? I said, yeah, I know that. But I said, like, like a man can drink that as well. It's the same. And she says, no, it was a bar girl, wasn't it? I thought, nah, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. So I bought her one drink and I said, no, I said, I'm not into all this kind of stuff. I said, I'm fresh in, you know, the Philippines, only been here a few days. He says, oh, you know, would you like me to show you around tomorrow? I thought, no, not at them prices. Not at them prices. You aren't going to show me around. 500 pesos a drink or whatever it was, 400 pesos, can't remember. And I will be honest with you, people, everything was just upside down to what I was ever, you know, being accustomed to in my life in England. And I've been to many places in the world, you know, I've been to far off places and there was nothing like this. It's kind of unorganized. Everything was, I would say, chaos. You know, the driving of the streets, you know, the cars bibbing all the time, the motorbikes nearly knocking you off the path or the road when you can't walk on the path, and the smell of piss. Oh, dear me. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make this, you know, this month. Then I kind of went to, what's it? It's in the northern part of Cebu. I can't remember the name, but there's a lot of Koreans there. And different again. It was cleaner. And that was another thing I kind of noticed, how the streets were not clean. And I saw the street food, how they were cooking the street food, and it just didn't look hygienic at all. So I'm thinking, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. But I stuck it out a bit longer. And then as the time went on, that month, I kind of was not blind or oblivious to what was going on around me, but I kind of was starting to get used to it a little bit. Accepting it, if you like. To the fact that I thought I'd try some street food after a few drinks. Well, that was one of the worst things I could have done because I poisoned myself. I got this shrimp. It was like fried shrimp. It looked all right. Smelled good. Ate it. Within 2 or 3 hours, I was in shit street. Proper shit street, people. God almighty. I think I was like that for 3 or 4 days. I thought I was going to die. So I was in that hotel for that whole time. Couldn't leave. Then I'm kind of thinking I'm going back home. I'm going to go back home. So I was looking at flights to change my flights. Couldn't change them. I had to buy new flights. And I thought, God almighty, that's quite expensive. I'll probably spend that, you know, if I'm here for the rest of the 3 weeks or whatever that I had left. So I stuck it out. And towards the end of it, I really kind of to start to enjoy it, I got to know walking on the road and watching the traffic, and got used to seeing the coppers around, the police around with armed things, and even in McDonald's you see armed guards in there, which is not something I'm used to ever seeing. And I got, like, I met some people in the bars and that. Some of them were Korean, some of them were Filipino in this particular place I was. And then I was starting to go out with them, and they were showing me around and meeting with the local people. I thought, bah, it's okay. It's okay, it's not that bad. But the first thing that you'll notice when you come here is the chaotic life that it is. And you probably pick up on the dirtiness, how untidy, and the smell on some streets, the danger trying to cross a road, or even when you're trying to walk on a pavement, because there's no pavements level where I was. One was up, one was down, one was this way. Sometimes there were no pavements at all. And the electrical wires, you look and you think, Jesus Christ almighty, look at all, there's like thousands of wires and they're all bundled up, and some of the posts are going over. And my God almighty. But you get used to it. Well, you either get used to it or you don't get used to it, and you probably never come back. You've probably never come back. Just check this. And if I hadn't of got used to it, I would never have come back. I would never have come back to the Philippines. And I know I didn't go to many touristy places the first time I was here, but it takes a lot of getting used to, people. It's not easy living in the Philippines or coming to the Philippines for your first time, getting into that situation on your own. So first you got, the ruthless taxi drivers trying to take your cases off you, right? You got that. Then you've got the kind of chaotic lifestyle of the drivers. Then you've got to try and not kill yourself when you're walking on the pavement, or off the pavement as a car, because they won't stop. They won't slow down. No, they don't. But then when you get through all that and you get used to the place, I kind of smiled about it. I just, well, this is how it is. And then you get to see the people are the opposite to what the drivers are. Meaning the drivers are mental, crazy. But the people are laid back and relaxed and don't care about time. Time is irrelevant in this place. And I like that. And so then I went back home. I did my month here. Got back home, and although for all the chaos that I experienced here, I missed it a little bit, and I stayed home for a little while, and I come back. And that's when I met the first girl that I was with when I was here for a while. And that's how I ended up in Dipolog, where I am at the moment. And here was totally different. In Dipolog, totally different to Cebu. And here, streets are clean. The pavements are proper pavements. Yes, there's traffic, but nowhere near like there are in Cebu in the cities, obviously. Because Dipolog is still a city, but it's a very small city. And here suited my lifestyle. I totally fell into this place. And yes, there are still some chaotic drivers, but not that many in comparison. Yes, you still see all of the electrical spaghetti lines on the lampposts that are coming over. But lately, all that's been sorted out, or it's getting sorted out. They put new lampposts in, new wire in. And the brownouts. When I was in Manila, I didn't experience a brownout. When I was in Cebu for the month, I don't think I experienced one. Come to the Philippines, come to Dipolog City, I think the second day I was here, power cut. Power cut? What's going on here? No electric. And the girl said, it's all right, it's normal here. Normal? To have no electric? For how long how long might this go on for? And she said, it could go on for 5 minutes, it could go on all day. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, what, you're having a laugh, aren't you? Running water. Again, in the city in Dipolog at that time, the water pressure during the daytime was absolutely abysmal. No good. And what water did come out the tap was a funny colour, people. It was a funny colour. I mean, I wouldn't even wash vegetables in that water. But, that aside, and I got to know anglers here when I first come to Dipolog. Anglers, because obviously Dipolog is it's right on the coast. And I saw this like breakwater, went down there and got talking to the anglers kind of thing. They were a bit ginger because I think they were shy talking English. And got talking, and that was it. I kind of fell in love with the place. Had a bad relationship with the first girl I was with. That didn't last long. And then I had some time on my own. Met my wife now, and the rest is history. But the first time I came here, people, I was shocked. I was proper shocked. I was shocked with the shit. I was shocked with the smell of wee. I was shocked with the wiring. I was shocked with nearly being killed a few times walking on the road trying to get round someone on these broken paths. Dear God Almighty. So if you get past all that, well done. Well done. You know, you're still here. But I would imagine there's a lot of people who cannot get past that. And I can imagine, and I can understand how many people don't stick it. But there are some beautiful places, you know. There are some beautiful places here, and where in parts of the Philippines, the infrastructure is better. Here it's becoming good. We've got high-speed internet now. We've got high-speed internet cable. It's like we're coming into the 21st century, slowly but surely. Oh, dear me. It is what it is. It is what it is. The brownouts here are still common. We had a couple yesterday, not for long, 10 minutes, and they come back on. I don't know what the reason was, because it was sunshine. There was no rain and no wind, so I don't know what the reason for that was. Water, we haven't got a problem with that, because our water comes from the barangay, from the mountains, and it's fast all the time. Unless there's a brownout, because the pump stops working. Pump stops working, it stops pumping water. But I've got a deep well as well, because we had a deep well dug when I first bought this place here. Because there was no running water then, we had to dig a deep well. So when the electric is off and the water stops, I just put my generator on and pump the water out the well. So we have water all the time. And electric all the time because of the generator. But give it time, people. If you're first coming here, don't let that first impression think, Jesus, what have I come to? It's proper mental. It's just unbelievable. Get past that, and then you've got a chance. There's a lot of foreigners here. So, you know, they must have experienced what I did the first time. I think it's because I'd never been to a developing country before, you know. I've been many places in the past, but never a place like the Philippines. I've never been to a tropical country till I come here. And the heat, that's another thing. The heat will get you, especially being British. I was like, whoa, but I'm lucky because I like the heat. But nighttime and using air conditioning, again, is something that the British are not used to using, air conditioning. When you go on holiday in Spain or somewhere like this, in, you know, those kind of places, you have air conditioning, but only now and again. Here, you have to have it on all the time. I don't use it anymore because it blocks my nose up, so I don't use it. But that's another thing, you know, the air conditioning. And the food, I'm used to it now. I can eat some Filipino food. In fact, I quite enjoy some Filipino food. But when I first came and saw this like fish, this like dried fish, you know, like in like a display with a glass top, fish all complete and stunk, proper stunk, and flies. That's the other thing. The flies. You go into a market, and I've seen it here. That's why I don't buy anything from the market here. Anything from the wet market, I don't buy, because they're flies, and the flies are just buzzing around the fish and the meat. And when the people see you come into their stall, they get the swatter out. They start swatting the flies away. No, I'm all right, thank you very much. No, I'm good. And I think myself, I said it to my wife, man, what did they do with that? They said, oh, they just wash it. Oh, no chance. Big blue bottles and stuff. Nah. But that's what they do. They just leave it chatting away on their cell phones, and as soon as they see a customer, they start swatting to make out that, you know, they're keeping the flies off. But how long do they not swat? And then flies are landing on that and laying eggs. It's 100%, people, 100%. So now I just go in supermarkets. I buy my meat in a supermarket what's got the stamp on it, where it's been slaughtered properly. Whether it has or not, I don't know. But it makes me feel better. And I've never had any belly issues with buying things from a supermarket, meat-wise. And you've got to be careful here as well, because some which I would never have dreamt of or heard of, but some things here is double kill, where a pig might die, a carabao might strangle itself and die, and it's dead, and they cut it up and sell it. Oh no, not for me, because how long has that been dead? You know, and it's starting to, you know, puff up, you know, it's bloating out. Oh no, 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 no. But all these things you will experience. Maybe not the double kill, because you only see that in these kind of places, these provinces. It doesn't happen often, because they try and keep them alive, obviously. But sometimes if there's a flood and the carabaos are in the river, they do drown, where they're not tended to, maybe as they should be. I don't know. But I don't buy meat from the markets here. I don't buy meat from the local people. I just go to the place I do, and it's got the stamp on it, and I'm happy with that. Vegetables, I go to the markets for vegetables. I do, because, you know, flies don't go around vegetables. Not to my knowledge anyway, or I've never seen any. Eggs is very cheap here, and very nice as well. The local chicken here, it's called Visayan chicken. What do they call it? Native chicken. I don't like it. It's very tough. It's strong. It's like gamey taste. It's not for me. But besides all that, I love the Philippines now. I've been here for 8.5 years. I've served my time. I'm kind of used to everything that happens here. But for you people who's first coming here, maybe you can take this in and just get past that part and you'll be all right. Or maybe some of you people have experienced what I've been talking about and you can laugh about it yourselves. But God, the first time. Woo! Anyway, people, it's time for me to go. I'm back home. Take good care, people. Bye-bye.